What's up, you guys? Marshall here with Train Solid, and I am back with another video. Today is going to be shoulders. I'm going to show you guys from beginning to end on my favorite exercises, what I like to do for shoulders, how I execute it, and how I gain muscle in my shoulders. Let's get to this video. Let's go. The first exercise I like to do for my shoulder day, I don't even know the name of it, but this helps me gain a lot more stability in my shoulders. And what I do is I prop my knee up like this. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen this before, but this is what I do. I grab it like this, elbow on my knee, and I elevate my arm in a 90-degree angle, slowly going down, coming up pretty fast and explosive. I try to keep my back as straight as possible, and I try not to shrug my shoulder as I lift it. That's the key. I haven't felt any pain in my shoulder when I bench press. I've gone up in weight for my shoulder presses, my bench press. This, for some reason, kind of works out the kinks in my shoulder, which allows me to push heavier weight and also keep my form good. So I do about 4 sets of 15 using this exercise just to kind of warm up my shoulders before I get into any compound movements. One thing for me is that it's harder for my shoulders to gain size, so prioritizing shoulders before I do push workouts and also throwing in a shoulder day in itself really helped maximize the size of my shoulders. One reason why I like doing it with a kettlebell is because I like when the weight kind of sits on the top of your hand, so you're not using so much grip strength with this. You're kind of lifting it from the wrist at a supported position. It's good because that means you're focusing and targeting that specific muscle without having to rely on other muscles to lift it up. One thing about this workout is you may think you have strong shoulders or good stability with your shoulders, but until you do this exercise, you'll realize that there are smaller muscles in our body that have never been worked, and if you don't work those muscles, it's going to cause injury in the future. So learn as many exercises as you can that help rehabilitate and also build your stability muscles up, because this one is humbling. For the second exercise for my shoulder day, I like to use an easy bar because it has like a little extra little curvature right here, which allows me to go lower. I mean, honestly, you could do a straight bar, you could do dumbbells, it doesn't really matter. And I like to do seated shoulder presses with this, like this. One thing that I've noticed with my shoulders is that it's harder for me to grow front delts. Starting off with my weakest point, I like to do these first. I like to do my first set where I fully lock out so that I'm also engaging my triceps, but the last 3 sets, I just do partial reps so that I'm really strengthening my shoulders in the lengthening position. I just like to fully lock out so that I could develop that range of motion. The reason why I like doing seated shoulder press is because I'm not using any lower body power to help generate the weight up. So it feels really more isolated to my shoulders. The key to really having a solid foundation with shoulder presses is your core. Man, the more and more you squeeze your stomach each rep, the harder you squeeze your stomach, you feel a lot more stable in the exercise. Now, technically, you don't really have to have a specific muscle day unless that's something you really want to grow. Like, for example, you can definitely do shoulder workouts before your push exercises, and that will actually help you grow more muscle towards that muscle group because you're building muscle endurance and also you're hitting it first. One thing about shoulder presses, you don't have to fully lock out unless you want to use your triceps. You only have to go about 2/3 of the way up so that you're solely focusing on your front delt. When they say hit a muscle twice a week, that's 100 times better than just hitting it once. They're not lying. It's by far the best thing that you could do for your muscles if you're trying to really grow strength in a specific spot. Now that we got front delts out the way, it's time to hit side delts. Let's get those dumbbells, let's go. So when it comes to hitting side delts, I like to do a superset of this little concoction I got going on here. I've seen a lot of bodybuilders do this. I've seen a lot of fitness influencers do this, and I gave it a try. And for me, I felt a lot of more tension hit that slide delt by doing this. So I have this bench at an incline, and I have the dumbbell right in front of me, and I'm driving with my pinkies up. So one thing I've realized in my career of fitness is that whatever gives your muscle the most tension in the movement is best. And if you're able to control the eccentric movement as best as possible, you're just putting more work on that muscle, which is going to therefore build more strength. So find different variations that work for you and go with those. So for this, I'm doing about 15 reps each arm at this incline bench position. And then I'm gonna go to a standing burnout of 10 to 15 reps with 2 dumbbells at the same time of side lateral raises. I know you guys can't see me right now, but this is what I love about my gym is that when there's not a lot of people in here, they turn the lights off. If I wasn't recording right now, beast mode would kick in like by 1,000. So for you guys, since you guys could barely see me, I'm gonna go ahead and turn these lights back on. Whew. Okay, that gave me a break, so I'm gonna get right back into this bad boy. The key to a proper side lateral raise is not letting your chest sink in while the dumbbells are coming down. You want to allow your shoulders to get the biggest stretch possible with this. And another tip that I like to do is I like to feel like I'm pushing through my elbows rather than my wrist. I've noticed I feel a lot more mind muscle connection hitting that muscle when I think about it like that. You don't want to do this bullshit where you lift up and then you pop it up. I mean, you could do that towards the end, I would say, when it comes down to you almost hitting failure so that you can get extra reps in. But if you are gonna do this, where you're swinging, really get that weight up there and control the way down. But when you're starting off and you're fresh, try to use just the delts in itself. If you wanna have a long career lifting weights and you don't wanna come up to any like injuries in the future, perfect form. Lighten the weight, throw your ego out the door, and start practicing how to actually lift the weight perfectly and build up your connective tissue. If you're trying to have a broader look, you gotta hit shoulders. Proportion-wise, when you have big shoulders and a big chest, you just look alpha as fuck. I'm coming across the last set here, so I'm gonna do like a burnout of a drop set. So I'm gonna start off with 25, 20, 15, and 10, and I'm gonna just shoot for 10 reps each, not going all the way down, but keeping the tension on the delts as much as possible. So I'm gonna just hit 10, 10, 10, 10, all the way through. It's like, sometimes a drop set is what you need. Last one. 3, 2, 1. Whew. That was tough. But I could already see the shoulders pushing through the sweater, which is what I wanted. Now that I got done with side delts, I'm gonna hit more front delts and rear delts. So depending on how the cables look, I'm gonna go ahead and hit some face pulls and some front raises. Back and front delts, let's go. So now I'm gonna hit face pulls, start working those rear delts using the cable machine. One tool I like to use is this cable attachment. It's amazing. The reason why I like it is because I can wrap my wrist around this thing and pull from the wrist rather than having to use any grip strength. And that's essential for really targeting the specific muscle you want if you're not trying to utilize other muscles into the movement. And if you're really trying to build up a certain muscle group, trying to minimize other muscles that are being used in the workout is essential for gaining strength in that specific muscle group. A lot of people are very grip and bicep dominant when it comes to any pulling motion. So being able to adjust that by using just your wrist and elbow allows you to really target those rear muscles. What I'm gonna do is 4 sets of 20 face pulls, and how I'm gonna attack that is by getting a deep stretch forward and pulling from my elbows and a little flick at the back end of that. And then you wanna really control the weight forward. Let's get it. You really have to focus on doing different variations, trying different things so that you could really feel that muscle being targeted. That's the biggest key for any type of workout. I mean, technically there's no wrong movement if you can get in and out of that position without any pain. Now it's time to hit some front raises. One thing that I like about doing this exercise is that since you're lying down, it reduces your momentum and it doesn't allow you to swing your body to lift the weight up. So it's relying strictly on the muscle itself to lift it up, which is great because you want to keep constant tension on that muscle. So I'm going to do about 4 sets of 15. Let's get it. One thing about this movement is you want to go all the way above your head with straight arms, control the way back down and explode on the way up and elevate your chest. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, but rewind, pause, and just look at how I'm doing it. I like to keep my legs bent so that I can really stabilize my lower body. Another variation that you could do is kind of like a shoulder press in this position. And oh man, you'll humble yourself using the cable machine. I'm not gonna lie to you. So instead of doing straight arms and you throw these bad boys in here. Oh my God, you'll feel that shit immediately. So I like to bring it down here to where I'm like at a 90-degree angle, keep my elbows bent here and then drive up. Whenever you're feeling too fatigued, just work the negatives. Boost yourself up. Do whatever you can to lift that weight up without throwing your back out, of course. And then just control the eccentric movement. Sometimes sloppy reps are good, as long as you're doing it with intention. It's okay to cheat every once in a while. So since I'm throwing in bench press towards the end of this workout day, I'm just gonna do something light. I'm just gonna do 4 sets of 15 for 185 because my shoulders are just gassed out. So I'm gonna knock this out for some push workouts and I'm gonna call it a day. Let's get it. One thing that I'm doing with this last exercise is just allowing myself to really develop perfect form, length and partials. I'm not trying to really go full range of motion with this because I don't want to gas out my triceps too much. And I'm just trying to focus mainly on just chest contraction at this point. You're probably asking yourself, why the hell is he bench pressing after just doing hella shoulder workouts? Because I can. The best pump in the gym is the chest pump. Let's be real. Like, especially if you're trying to build shoulders, might as well just do some bench presses while you're at it, you know? Fuck. Yo, what's up, bro? God, I'm seeing stars a little bit after that. Well, that was it, you guys. That was my shoulder exercise. I hope you guys liked it. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.